In today's episode, it is such a blessing to be joined by Joseph Kanyenje of Pamoja Dance Group, a Kenyan contemporary dance company with and without physical disability.
Dance was changed because of their disability. They lived their life on the floor. They were experts on the floor. So someday I'm saying, I'm going to show them. They showed me. Couldn't do it. I thought I was an expert there. I wasn't. So that was my disability. We are all in this together. She said, when I was walking on the street, I would think people are looking at me because of my disability. But now when people are looking at me, I think they look at me because they have seen me on stage. Now I know this is what my body was meant to do. He said, I did not want to go because I knew you were coming. That for me was, I said, I will teach them like I've never taught before. I was blown away by what I saw. That's why
In today's episode, it is such a blessing to be joined by Joseph Kanyenje, the founder of Pamoja Dance Group, a Kenyan contemporary dance company of dancers with and without physical disability, who come together to share creative work in an open and understanding environment. Pamoja works to challenge the views of its audiences. It inspires other people with disabilities or disadvantages to realize their potential. And the group also uses its dance productions to address important social topics, such as refugees, women empowerment, and wildlife protection. I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to connect further with Joseph today and to learn more about him and his team's beautiful work. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome him into this community. He is most definitely my kind of person, and I know he will be your kind of person too. So welcome to the podcast, Joseph Kanyenje. Thank you so much for joining us today, Joseph.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much. May I clarify something?
Yes.
People always assume that because I'm from here, that I'm the one who founded the Pamoja. But actually, I did not.
Okay.
Funny how I joined even. Pamoja was founded by Miriam Rotha. She's a Canadian Israeli. She came to Kenya because her husband used to work for UNHCR. And because there was she has done this integrated dance for a very long time. So she saw there was a need to start here. How we started, it was just a one-day workshop because there are people with disability and they wanted to dance. It was a one-day workshop. It wasn't, no one was looking to say, this is going to be a dance company or nothing. So one day, there was, I was told there's a presentation for persons with disability, they want to dance. And previously there was a company from Germany that came to Kenya, did audition, took three disabled people, made them dances, and they went to do a tour in Germany. So what Miriam took the whoever was not picked after. Because so many people turned up for the audition.
Wow.
And she heard about it. And she said, okay, come on, you want to dance? Come, let's just meet every Wednesday, let's do this. So now there was a presentation, and then I went for the presentation. I was blown away by what I saw.
Wow.
And I was still seated on my seat. And then this woman came up to me and she said, hi, hello, how are you? I said, I'm fine. And she said, we meet every Wednesday upstairs. And I was like, how does she know I'm a dancer that I would be even interested in doing this? So Wednesday came, I was like, now these are disabled people and let me now show them how this is done. And I used to really like dancing on the floor, really, really love doing floor work and stuff like that. But then I met people who, because of their disability, they lived their life on the floor. They were experts on the floor.
Yeah.
So someday I'm saying, I'm going to show them. They showed me. They showed me because that was the intention. I was like, I'm going to show them. They showed me. And so it actually made me now want to now figure out now more dance up. So I stopped dancing on the floor because I couldn't do it. I thought I was an expert there, but I wasn't. So that was my disability.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I talk too much. So.
No, you don't at all. Please. What a beautiful story. And thank you for pointing that out. What a wonderful thing the founder has done. And you're the creative director, right? So
yes.
You weren't part of the founding process, but wow, what a journey you've been on then to the end of as a creative director. Beautiful.
Yeah. She even, I think from the moment she saw me, she just knew something. Because I always asked, why did you come up to me? There were so many people there. Why me? Why did you come up to me? She said, I saw something. I saw something. And she has been training me, and we have been friends. I actually spoke to her yesterday. We've been friends for a very long time, and she has been training me. But her training was very different. She saw that I was learning through observation, how she was doing it. She never told me, this is how you do this. This is how you do this. So this is how she would leave me in charge. She would come and tell me, we are leaving for a month. I'm going to see my mother in Canada. You're the one who's going to be in charge. I'm like, oh, okay. And then another time she would tell me, oh, we need to go to see our friend in Israel. And then she would leave. Come 2008, she said, Joseph, this time, I knew this time would come. I wasn't going to do this forever. And then she told me, we are leaving. And I said, oh, okay, well, it's okay, I can still do it. And said, no, we are leaving. We are leaving Kenya now. And she told me, you are now the one who's going to be in charge. And I remember her, she asked me so many times, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this? I thought maybe because first she's older than I am, and again, well, I'm just going to say it, because she's white and African. I thought, oh, maybe she thinks I'm not capable of doing this. She thinks that she's the only one who can do it because she's a white woman and she has knowledge, whatever. Until 2 years later, and then I realized why she was asking me, are you sure you want to do this? Because it's the work that entails to it. I'm sure that's what she meant. She told me it takes your everything to do this. It takes your everything. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of work goes into it. No, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that. I so appreciate your honesty. But clearly you're the person for the job. You seem to be going on from strength to strength. And I really am so excited to be able to speak with you today and to learn more about you and your group's incredible work. I personally first came across the group's work on YouTube, and I was just in awe of the creativity. I mean, the group, just the dances, you move with so much grace and intention, and it's somehow both delicate and powerful all at once. And I was really moved by it and so keen to connect with you further.
Yeah, thank you. It's here in Kenya, maybe not even here in Kenya, in so many places. We have people with disability have very similar stories, very similar. It's just like, for example, in the UK, there's more, the social services there are better, and the awareness is better. But here, they almost got the same thing. So now, this is a person that has come to me now, and I am now giving him a name. He had a name when he was born, maybe in the village or something. They call him something. They call him here. I'm going to say it in Kiswahili. It's kiwete. It's like, I think, handicapped. You're handicapped then.
Yeah.
For you, yeah.
Exactly.
And then and then they will call him mlemavu. Mlemavu is now, I think, disabled now. And then now here I am, and I'm saying, you're a dancer. So now all this time, all these names that they have to shed, that someone called him a Kiwete, and it wasn't a good name. And then someone decided, oh, let me be political correct and say, oh, you're just disabled. And then, oh, I'm in my disability. And then now me, I'm coming and I'm saying, you're a dancer. And then they have to, all this, they have to shed all this. And I'm saying, no, I'm not considering, you're just a dancer. And it's a if there's a character I'm going to give you, whether you a person with disability or you're not, I'm just going to give you that. And that change also, that just changed, seeing people changing from being called a name and being this, and now this is a different position that you're placing me, and an equal one with because I work with persons with living with disability and people who don't have any kind of disability, but then you're all leveled. You're not there to support you. We are all in this together. So, yeah.
Oh, what a beautiful story. And words can be so powerful, can't they? I absolutely love that you shared the origin of the word. And even that, just changing it to you are a dancer.
Yes.
And you know, whether you want to accept that name or not, that is how I see you.
Yeah.
And that is your place here. Beautiful.
Yeah. We have one of our dancers who, because he doesn't have any kind of work, so he asks for money on the streets. It's but because I can't, there's nothing I can do. And people always ask me, said, I've seen him. Why is he now asking for money? And I said, well, if I had a regular pay for him, he wouldn't go there. But then I cannot tell him, oh, stop going, or, Pamoja, people are going to see you on stage and now they're going to see you there. One person came to me, and she drives a Land Rover, and she says, well, I go up to him, and I have to, and sometimes I hand him money from my Land Rover, and because he's sitting on the side of the road. But then today, he's the one who's on top, and I'm the one sitting here watching him at a level that's higher level than where I am always, because normally it's always me on the Land Rover and him sitting on the street. And now this time is him on stage and me on this other side.
Wow. Me too. Yeah. Wow.
And she stopped judging. She said, with that, and then she said, I'm seeing strength here. I'm seeing a lot of strength, as opposed to how I see him in my Land Rover. And also, they have now a respect for him also. Because I said, well, there's nothing I can do. I cannot tell him to stop because I can't feed his family. He needs something to feed his family. And so that again, hearing from people telling me and having to find a balance between you're a member of an audience coming to me telling me, oh, but your dancer, I see him on the street. And for me, because I think this is something great that you're doing. And this one is actually sort of, for lack of a better word, demeaning what you're doing. But for me, it's not really demeaning. It adds to what you saw on stage. Him being there and what you saw on stage, it's this experience. It's the experience that he has, that he transformed it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I don't see it as demeaning.
Yeah, no. Gosh, that filled me with so much emotion. Thank you for sharing, because so powerful, and he channels all of that into his dancing. Clearly, it elevates him.
Yes,
The
Yes.
story is what, adds to his creativity. Like creativity, I was talking about this recently on a podcast, and creativity and healing come together.
Yes. I have so many stories.
Please share. No,
one of my dancers, she's called Lydia. Lydia got misdiagnosed. She had, I remember what it was. I think she was treated for TB, and she had pneumonia, or it was just an opposite thing. But whatever they gave her, she got medical poisoning. She got paralyzed from the side. And Lydia was depressed. She was not even, she told us she'd never left, she did not leave the house for a year. When I say leave the house, I mean even to go outside for a whole year. But the mother now had to force her to go outside. She said, I'm leaving. You need to go outside. But she said, I can stay in the house. Said, no. Go. We need even just sit outside somewhere. And one of the sisters brought a friend of hers to the house. And she told Lydia, there are people who do sports, and you should, my brother does sports, just go. And then she came with the brother there. Lydia saw the brother to the sister's friend, encouraged Lydia to go to sports. And then when she was at the sport, she met one of my dancers. And then my dancers told her, there's this group, we danced, you should come. And she kept on persuading her. And then one day she came. I saw Lydia, and she was just thrown in there. We didn't even know what her story was. That's how Lydia was. She said, you are here? Okay, come dance. And she just knew, you don't even know. Maybe you thought you're just going to watch one day, and then the next you're going to join in. But not Lydia. Lydia doesn't do that. She's just like, come in, just do it. So Lydia started dancing with us. And you could see how she was really struggling. Because it was in a physical, yes, but it was more emotional. I just told her, Lydia, you're going to do a solo. Because I noticed she always hides at the back. And she was really fighting this. She said, I don't want to do it. So she started dancing. And she could dance, and she'd fall down and pick up again, and she'd fall down, pick up again, she'd fall down. And it's her body resisting to move because she doesn't, her head is telling her things. So her body is kind of rigid now. Yeah. And she fall down again and fall down. I said, you know what, Lydia, I really like the falling. Use that in this piece. There was another dancer with us. She was watching, and she was crying because you could see all this emotion coming from Lydia. And she was really trying not to make Lydia stop. And so she even left the room because we left the room. And that falling, that for me, that is the day that Lydia got her healing. When she fell so many times, she said, no, I can't do this. I said, okay. And then I'll play the music. I never stopped the music. I didn't stop her when she was falling. And she'd fall and apologize. But no, don't apologize. Continue. And then she'll do it again. She'll fall. I was seeing what was happening even with the falling. I was seeing what was happening. But then she was kind of thinking, I'm messing up. I'm not as good. Perhaps I shouldn't do this solo. But I pushed. I said, no, you're going to do it. Then one time during an interview, I don't know where I took that interview. It was a TV station. People came to us, and then she was doing an interview, and she said, "What before when I was walking on the street, I would think people are looking at me because of my disability, but now when people are looking at me, I think they look at me because they have seen me on stage. They have seen me perform." And then she said, now I know this is what my body was meant to do. Yeah. And it's like, There you go. Yes, like there you go. There you go. Yeah. So healing, what you said is right. Movement, it's so right. It's right. You're
Absolutely.
right.
Creativity and healing, they come together. Yes. All part of the journey, right? And like the falling, that, like you said, it was beautiful what you said of that. You saw in that moment her falling, that was the real progress on her healing journey, right?
Yes. Yes.
And that influence
and coming to the front, because she was always dancing at the back. Because this piece, we were only 5. We only did 5 people in this. We were only 5. Normally we are like 10 or 8 or 12 sometimes on stage. And this time we were only 5. And they said, "Oh, you're doing a solo." And she was like, "Oh, no, I've never done this before." Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh, what a beautiful story. And go Lydia. Yeah, coming to the front, that must have taken a lot of courage, a lot of vulnerability. But that was her healing journey continuing, and she's continuing to progress. And I can only imagine how that added to the creativity of the dance, the fact that actually you incorporated the falling into it.
Yes.
Beautiful. And I would also love to learn a little bit more about you, Joseph. So would you be generous enough to share with us where you have grown and flown? So where did you grow up and where would you consider home now?
So I grew up, born and raised in Nairobi. Even my parents, which is a big deal here, because in their generation, they were born in the rural, their parents brought them in the rural, and then they came to Nairobi. But my grandmothers came to Nairobi when they were still young. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm emphasizing on the...
Yeah.
Big deal. My parents were born here in Nairobi, Kenya. And so I was born in an area called Jericho. It's in the eastlands part of Nairobi, and it's the most part where most talent come from. So
there we go. Born and raised.
Yes, and I still live there. I'm intending to move somewhere else, but I still live there. I have brothers and sisters. And yes.
You're like double checking that.
Yes, and my love of art came from the area in Jericho. That we have so many community, so we call them social halls, in community halls. And in this community hall, so many things were happening. There were dances, there were acrobatics, there were sports, boxing. I live near a field with football fields, and a Catholic church that's next to me. That's so music, choir, acting, and stuff like that. So
a really creative community then.
Very creative, very creative. That sometimes, whenever, like I said, for example, for me to be marveled by acrobat, I can't be, because I've seen it all the time. So people, when the acrobat do something and the people are like, "Oh my God," and I'm like, really? That's exciting. And then I have to remind myself that it's because you have seen it so many times.
Yeah.
Like it can marvel you. So my parents used to do traditional dance. My mother used to be in a choir. So when I decided to be a dancer, I was kind of waiting for my dad to tell me, "Oh, why are you a dancer?" And I said, "Well, there was a picture, I saw you and man in one of the dancing." So
well said.
So, but he didn't ask me anything. In high school, I was in drama and music, and actually, my if I wasn't dancing, I would have loved to be a stage actor.
I love that.
What's the stage, not TV or stage. Yeah. So, and I grew up always wanted to be the best, to not to try, just to, especially with dance, because I just wanted to be good at it. I didn't want, and for me it was there. I forgot that before there's a process for you to be good. There's a process in between for
Showing
you to
up constantly,
be good. But every time I would say something, I said, no, I don't want to do that because I'm not good. And so after I've cleared my high school, I went into acting, and then one day a friend of mine told me there's a dance workshop, and I said, dance, don't. Yeah. And then, but then it was a contemporary class, so I went to the contemporary class, and I was like, oh, I actually like this. It's kind of free. I can be creative. There's no limitation. I'm not being placed in a box, and I'm not being shown 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I was like, oh, I kind of like this. But then I was 23 when I was starting, and I thought, this is it's late. It's 23. I should have started when I'm 19 or 20. Or because here you have to go to high school until you're 18. And no chance of dancing when you're in high school. There's no chance.
Oh, really?
It's either because the dance is when it's time. Dancing happens weekdays and you're in school. And so weekends, it wasn't so many. So here, people really start their dancing career late. They start at 18, at 20.
Wow.
That's when they start. Well, you would be dancing maybe after school or after your school, but not in a company, not in a proper class, not in a
Wow.
Like, for example, me, I've not had any formal training in dance. I just attended one workshop to another. So when I was 23, that's the time I started dancing. And then I thought, oh, it's late. What am I going to do? At 24, there were few of us who were now learning dance. And there were like 5 choreographers they got some funding and they want to do workshop and create something. And we are very few. So now they even had to work their timing according to us. So this was my schedule. 6:30 to 8:30. I had a class. 8:30 to 9:30, another class, was each an hour. Then 9 to about 11, I had another class. And then 11 to 1, and then 1 to 3.
A really quiet day then.
Because these are choreographers, and then you kind of want to catch up with the time that you said, oh, I need to catch up. And all these choreographers, they want you. They want you to be in their piece. They want you to be in their show that they're creating. So this is a story I tell people from. The class started at 9:30 and ended at 11. The other one was starting at 11, and it was like 50 to almost 15 kilometers away.
Gosh.
And no chance we could take public, but then where we stopped was far. So we used to beg the 9 o'clock class. Said, can you please end at 10:40 so we could get to the other class? So we had to run to the 11 o'clock class.
Yeah.
And the 11 o'clock class, and obviously every time you go to a class, you can't be tired from the previous class. Everybody wants you fresh. So you have to be fresh. So you run there, but then you have to be fresh. And then,
and you ran 15 kilometers. You ran 15 kilometers each time. Goodness me.
To the class. And so you get there, then the choreographer wants you fresh. Yeah. So then you will start with that fresh, you do a class, and then you start with choreographing, and then I have to finish because now Pamoja is doing. We are creating something, but we used to meet at 1. So then again, wasn't really far, but then ran like a kilometer or 2 or 3 to the other to Pamoja's workshop, and then do it. Yeah.
Wow. I have so much respect for your dedication, truly. Not only to the dancing, like how many classes you had, but then the effort it took even to get there it makes you realize what a privilege having access to dance is.
Yes. But remember, because we also needed to catch up with time. We started late. All of us were almost the same age. We started late, so we were kind of thinking that, we need to catch up. I think that's why there was always that so many. I took too many classes for like a year.
You feel like you had a lot of making up to do then because you started so late. You kind of almost overdid it in the sense of like I've all these people have years on me to be the best I can be. I have to put everything into this.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
So got to be in all these choreographies, and then when I started now taking the role of now being the director of Pamoja, it was a sad journey almost, because everybody now, I was now being pushed out of, I never knew if there was a workshop happening. I never knew if someone else was creating something. I was always in the dark. Also because we also moved to another, got a privilege to work at a gallery, at an art gallery, and they had space. They said you can use one of the rooms to dance in. So it's best time. So at least. So that, because maybe I was away, so I never got if anything was happening in the dance world out there, I would never know. There would be workshops happening, and I would never know.
Was that intentional, like of other people, or is it just a case of you were like overworked in your position, or is it more people because you had this? I mean, you don't seem like the type of person at all to let it go to your head, but did other people see as like your status had changed?
I think that is what it was. I think they think, your status has changed now. But I always wanted to kind of know, even if because I still had I'm the artistic director, but I had peers also, my peers.
Yeah.
And they were still doing something, and I was kind of feeling, these are the people that we used to run with. The 15 kilometers. I would be like, tell me when there's a workshop. I would like to come and stand there, because now I'm here and I miss being there on the other side. So I kind of needed that. I needed to have someone telling me instead of me giving. I think that is what my feeling was, that I was giving and I wasn't getting. I wasn't getting anything. I was just giving and giving and giving and giving. And I wanted somewhere where at least someone is going to give me and say, not to worry about something. I'm just there. I'm just dancing. Not to worry about how this show is going to go. Where are we going to perform it? Yeah.
You were still Joseph, and all of that joy and passion for the freedom of dance was there, but because of having to play catch up and then this new status, it was changing it into something much more, maybe, and taking some of that freedom away.
And it came in such a short time, because remember, I started dancing in 2005, and in 2008, Miriam had already left. So it's only 3 years. It was in my prime now. It was just in my prime when I was just now get out of the way, there's a new dancer in town.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I'm told, no, come. Now it's a status. Almost being put in uh, the same position with the people that I'm learning from. Because
Yeah.
now I have to teach these other people, and
Yeah.
I'm still learning from them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that must be such a bittersweet journey, because
Because,
the pride I hope you felt for becoming a director in such a short amount of time, I think that shows so much the trust that was
yeah,
placed in you and seeing your potential. But at the same time, like, so in one part you've gained so much, but in the other part you've also lost something, and a part that was so special that
yeah,
almost like you couldn't go back and have.
no, no. And I think also then they was thinking, oh, now because you're a director here, I can't direct you on this other side.
Yeah.
To be fair to them, I'm sure maybe that was, and I could have maybe gone to them and said, you know what, still include me.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But still, even if no one's at fault, there's a lot of grief that comes with
Yeah,
that, because it's a grief. You are losing something.
yes. I, yes, I used to have that a lot. I used to have that a lot, that grief. Oh, yeah, all the time. But Miriam used to come, and when she was around, I'll be so happy that, oh, finally, I'm going to dance, because she used to make me dance a lot when she came back.
Yes.
So I was dance. I said, oh, thank God, at least Miriam is here. And so by the time now I'm the artistic director now, and Miriam, she's much uh, older than I was, and with experience. And now she's leaving me with the dancers. And did she then make an announcement that she's leaving? I don't think she did. No, people knew she was leaving.
Yeah.
But she didn't even make a formal one and say, you know what, from now on, listen to Joseph.
Oh, wow.
So some of the dancers found it quite hard to relate to me and also listen to my instructions. They were just following. They were following because, well, I put my foot down. Kind of that dictator, kind of.
Yeah.
So I also had to earn their trust. And it took quite a while for them to let me in.
Yeah.
That's with them, but I was not in their cycle, because they used to make a lot of jokes about themselves, and before I was allowed to laugh at their jokes, it took a while. There was a time someone said something, and she thought I said something about person with disability. She asked me, "Did you just say?" And I said, "No, I didn't. I didn't." And then slowly by slowly, they saw, this is a cool person, and I was kind of joining. Now I could laugh at their jokes. I could laugh at them. Yeah. And the ones who found it hard that Miriam had left, they were not disrespecting me at all. It's just,
They found the change difficult.
Yes.
Change,
someone else is telling me, something, and this one is the one who I'm used to this one, and now suddenly it's changed to you, who you're even younger than I am, and so there's and so then I started creating with them, and have these ideas that I had with them, and we created. I'll take you back when you saw our videos, you saw how strong and how how strong we were as dancers. Anyway, I would come, for example, there was a piece that we did, and my idea was long time ago, when Idi Amin was president of Uganda. He did such a cruel thing. He took people with disability, and it is said that they were all he wanted wants to get rid of them and kind of dump them in Lake Victoria. It was a cruel thing. I wanted to do a piece related to that. So I came and I explained it to Miriam and I explained it to the dancers. Now, the dancers themselves started coming up with, everybody started coming up with their own story relating to that. They said, oh, like what happened here during, one said, oh, what happened when there's elections sometimes in areas, that was before the post-election violence that happened here. And they said, that, what happened to an area where they voted and then they started fighting? Yes. One lady who she used to sell, she used to have a small kiosk, just a table, and she used to sell in town. And then one day the city council decided, no, everybody out. She related that to that story of Idi Amin and plunging people to the lake to the city council. And she said it. She said when the city council came to her, maybe which is true because this is my livelihood. I'm going to sell to get my meaning. And now you're taking me away from this. You're taking my livelihood away.
Yeah.
So everybody had their own story. Everybody comes up with their own story. That's why you can see all that power from them because it's from a personal. It's not just me who came up with this and said, no, we're not thinking about it. They always kind of find, what is it? What is this? What is my story? What am I going to tell people? What is my version of this? What is my story?
Yeah.
And I think it's because persons with disability, they don't, this is my theory, I don't know if it's true. They don't like, for me, I find like they do not like to waste movements. But they will only move when it's necessary. Because now, for example, you think, oh, I have to take my crutches, I have to go on. So whenever it's necessary, they will move.
You have to be really intentional.
Yes. So even if you come up with something, then they will be like, oh, why am I dancing like this? I remember one time I made a show, and it was the most difficult show that I've ever made.
Really?
Because this show, there was nothing. There was no story behind it. There was no, because this is what is happening, or this is what. Because I felt we are in a stage where we just show our prowess. So I choreograph a lot in that show. It's like, come, do this. And I felt everyone was just looking at me like, why am I moving like this? We were questioning a lot. And then one actually said, I hate this. She bluntly told me, said, I hate this movement. And I said, why am I moving like this? So then I had to tell them, oh, my intention of this show is just to show that how good you have become, that you're good dancers. And then slowly, you're looking at that, still looking at me like, really? Really? But then it kind of worked because every time I needed to tell them that. I said, there's no story. We're just dancing. I was like, it was something, because there was no intention. Why should I move?
Yeah.
Give me a reason.
You didn't have that backstory that you had before.
There was no backstory to it. None at all. None at all. And he was like, why? Because even I called the show Revolutions, because they were revolted. It was a revolution. They were revolted. But we don't like the show. We don't like. Yet the audience loved it. The audience, they loved it at the end of it. But the audience kind of loved it. Because so many things happening.
Yeah.
Each one coming out, showing their
you didn't have that past experience or like fueled topic to rely on. It was really down to like your core and like what were you feeling, I guess, then in that moment.
Yes.
Lying on the body.
And that's when we stopped having dancers with disability on stage. And I told them, now, look, we are not even here in Kenya. I told them, here in Kenya, yes, they know that we are dancers with disability, but they're not seeing us as dancers with disability. They're seeing us as just another dance company.
Yeah.
That I learned that because I sent a proposal somewhere, and I sent it. I think I sent it once, and then I didn't get it. I was like, why? How can I not get it? Who else should get this? It should be me. And then I met someone and said, why did I get that proposal? Why did I get this? I sent it to you, and you did nothing. And then she said, Joseph, you know what? You sent us that proposal as dancers with disability. And you are like, so what's this? What it is? We are not looking at that. We wanted to look at something different. And then I was like, So even mainstream, I was like, oh, okay. So it had to change even the way I choreographed, the way the dancers would breathe. And I would tell them, they have stopped looking at you as persons with disability anymore. They're not doing that anymore. Yeah. They're now seeing you as dancers, any other dancer. And now even the movement change, even the way we are creating change.
Powerful, yeah.
And I showed in 2010, I went to South Africa for a workshop, and I was kind of doing presentation to the other dancers, and I said, oh, I did have a video. I said, oh, dancers, and then one said, I thought you said you dance with persons with disability. And I said, yes, I do. And he said, but I cannot see. I said, look at this one. I said, no, still I can't. I said, oh. He said, you should have been a video. she didn't like the presentation. So I think the way the photos were captured not to show a disability. Props to the photographer.
Yeah.
Who we have been working with. And she said, well, I don't like showing disability. And I said, yeah, because that's not our intention. We don't want to show disability.
No, it's the dancers. You are a dancer, exactly like you said at the start.
One of my dancers, he's called Sylvester. He uses a tricycle instead of he suffers from polio. We shot together with him, and I invited someone, and he came up to me after the show and he said, I thought Sylvester was pretending. I said,
yeah, what?
Sylvester walks on the floor. He doesn't leave. He doesn't come up because his paralyzed was down. His leg didn't form very well. One of his leg formed, but he doesn't stretch all the way. So he walks like he's crawling almost. He uses one hand to hold and then the other to move. That's how he walks. But the entire time, the show was like 45 minutes. He was waiting for Sylvester to stop pretending. All this time. I said, really? And I said, yes, I actually thought. Until up to the end. And then I thought, oh, this man is not standing. So the entire time he's just there waiting.
Yeah.
Really. And
powerful.
I was so happy when I heard that. I was so happy. I was extremely happy. I said, thank you. Thank you that I'm not showing disability. It's a dance.
Exactly.
A dance. Yes.
Wow, and shows how much progress you've made as a group as well. So I'm so inspired by all of you. And you've inspired me, but is there anyone who's inspired you growing up, whether that was through dance or in general life?
Many people, actually. I'll mention a few. My grandmother used to have a friend. She was called Gasheri. And Gasheri would come to visit my grandmother. Gasheri they used to sing along a lot with my grandmother. She'll come to the house and they will start a conversation and she'll mention something. Maybe at the end of it is like a wording for a song and they would start singing. Every time the Sheri would come, even if I was playing, I would go back to the house and just sit because she was comical. I found her comical. She
Yeah.
used to sing all the time. I experienced opera when I was a child.
Yeah.
Because that's what they used to do. They start, she's singing Kikuyu, and then they'll start dancing in the house. And
Wow.
so Gashari was one of the people, one person. But and the other person she's called Leila. She was my first dance teacher, and she only did like 2 classes.
Yeah.
But she inspired me completely. She made me love dance.
Wow, I love that.
She made me love dance. And Kebaya was my teacher, was very hard on me. I actually thought I almost stopped dancing because of him. And also he's the reason why I continued dancing. Because I was like, why is this man so hard on me? Why is he so hard on me? But I think because it's so, yes, kind of so he's so potential. And he's the only male influence in dance that I have. Everybody else is a woman that really inspired me in dance. And then, of course, Pamoja dancers, they really inspired me. And Miriam, and there's a story. Once I was doing a workshop in the northern part of Kenya, the coastal part. And I was teaching, I went to teach in a primary school. That area is kind of, they say, it's heavily, there's a lot of Muslims there. So initially I was going to a children's home somewhere in the same area to teach. And then there was a lot of, I got there and the person who was running the place said, "Oh, you're here. Oh, we already have people to do the workshop." I was like, but we had agreed that I'm coming. She already brought people from the UK, actually.
Yeah.
The company that came from there. And I'm like, but I spoke to you before I came. I said, do you know, I don't live here. I came.
God, come all that way.
10 miles. I prepared, and then I was so heartbroken. And then where I used to stay, they told me there's another school. Go, perhaps maybe they could be interested. So I went to that school. I spoke to that administrator. We agreed. So we went to my dancers there to do a workshop. So they were very nice. They accepted it. The girls were dancing. So some of the boys. The interesting thing is, in that part, is they said even in the children's home that I went to, because I said we are going to do a workshop and then we might do a performance at the public. It's called something. It's a public place. Then everybody just went to the side, and I said, "Oh, what's wrong?" First, he said, "Dance is for women, but women cannot dance in public." I was like, "Then what am I doing here?" So the boys didn't want to dance. So when I went to that school, the girls were kind of also because people used to make fun of the boys, and then they were like, "Oh, stop making fun of the boys. They're dancing." And then the girls stood up for the boys, and I was so happy. They're all aged from 8 to about 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, they're girls standing up for the boys. Then one day I went into the school, and there was no one. And I was like, "Oh no, has anything happened? Have they been told that they shouldn't dance anymore?" Then 2 boys came running to that were in my class, and they said, "Oh," I said, "Teacher, we are here. And I said, "What happened?" He said, "Oh, the rest, they had to go because something happened to one of their students, their mother, the house burned, so they were going to console them. So that's why they're not there." And he said, "I did not want to go because I knew you were coming."
Oh, oh my goodness. So
I said, "I knew you were coming." And so I said, "I'm going to have a class." I said, "I will teach them like I've never taught before." And so when I was just starting, and then I had other kids knocking, and they said, "We are here, we are back." are the dancers, open the gates. That for me was,
you can tell.
Yeah, it was the best. It validated me. I was so happy. I said, this is the reason I dance, and this is the reason I teach. I've never forgotten that. The reason I'm sad is because I went again and I found the school had closed because the owner couldn't do it. She couldn't run the school. So I every time I go to Lam is my happy place. It's an island. It's my happy place. But every time I go there, I said, oh, those children that validated me. I don't know where they are. The school closed. And they validated me. Just that child just saying, I stayed because I knew you were coming. I couldn't go. And then the rest of them coming back, they could have gone home.
Yeah.
And say, open for us, we want to dance. It's like, oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
No, please don't apologize. If anything, thank you. What I'm feeling that emotion. Just the passion that you speak with, and just I couldn't go because I knew you were coming. What a powerful. I don't know how you could forget that.
Oh, I tried so hard not to cry. Then when she told me that, I was like, God, please don't do this in front of the children of those to the boys.
No, that's so important. I think tears are so important, because tears come because we've got so much emotion, we can't keep it in, right? There's so much joy from that validation, and to think you had affected those boys so much in that way. And clearly from the sounds of it, dance wasn't easy to perform for them. It wasn't that accessible. You had the girls who weren't allowed to dance at all, and then them at least fighting so that boys can dance. To think that you moved them in that way, just beyond beautiful. So thank you so much for sharing that, and just how powerful the universe is to think that you weren't even meant to be at that school. You were gonna be somewhere else.
Someone just suggested it. It's like, good. I was like, wait, it's just walk. It was quite far. I didn't know how to get there. I was working and asking, where is the school? And I thought, it's here. And
so really, you were meant to be at that school all along.
It was.
That was the school for you. Wow. And just amazing. And why is dance so important to you? And are there any other creative ways that you use to express yourself?
Dance, for me, because now I can't. My passion was stage performance and acting. And I feel like dance, especially contemporary dance, it has all. I can do that. I can move it, but I'm still telling my story.
Speaking with your body.
Yes, my body, and there's music also, because I love music also.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of all. I'm acting, I am moving, and there's music to it. So why do I dance? Because I can't stop. I can't seem to want to stop or to want to do something else than what I'm doing. It comes from somewhere else. I said one time, something godly happens when I'm moving, and I like that. One time I wanted to look for a job, and so I went, and they were doing all this. I think it was a call center. Even a call center is a good call center, the acting, everything. But I was there, and they were telling me, "Oh, you work from this time to this time, and this time to this time." And I was just sitting there, and I was like, "I've never done so again." And then, even the timing, I said, "You know what? You're not even going to be able to watch dance, even if you're not going to dance. You're not even going to watch dance. You're not even going to be to see anything creative because of the timing that she had." He said that I wasn't going to dance, and I'm not going to watch anything. I was like,
heartbreaking.
yeah, it's like, no, I don't think I want this. And so I left.
Yeah.
I really needed a job at that time. But then I said, I know you need to earn money, but you're going to be miserable.
It's going to cost your soul so much more.
Yes, I said, I do not want misery. And I'm also dancing because people tell me, Joseph, we envy you. I said, why? I said, you're doing what you love. I said, I'm in this 8 to 5 to 6 job just because I need to earn money and because of that, but I hate it. But you, whenever I see you, I see that you do whatever you're doing what you love. And I said, okay. So I said, I'm going to continue for them. At least offer something to them. I said, even if I'm in a difficult, even if I hate this job, he is in something that he likes. So I said, okay, I'll do dancing. And also because I've seen a lot of change in myself and also with others, how dancers changed them. That's why I do dance. Yeah. I sometimes I sing, and I haven't been on stage for a long time to get to play. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm so keen to learn more about Pamoja. So you described earlier how Pamoja dance group came to be.
Yes.
There was another dance group in town, but it's amazing to hear how many people turned up. Like you can almost that there was that much desire to dance.
Yes.
That that you actually, well, Miriam created this group for the others. What do you hope Pamoja contributes to the world?
Well, that people, for me, it's not to people not to forget or people not to get comfortable. People will start now to familiarize themselves with issues that are there. Like, for example, here, I'll speak to you about Kenya because this is where I live.
Please do.
Something would happen to us, and it could be the most terrible thing. It's a political thing, or maybe some people a corruption that has happened. People have stolen money, and at some point we will be upset. Then we'll start familiarizing. We'll start making memes, and then it will be a joke. And I'm like, why are you joking about this? This is something very serious. We should be on the streets. We should protest. We should write letters. We should go and tell them, demand these people to be taken out of office. But no, we will familiarize. We will be angry. But for a few days, memes will come out. We'll start joking about it.
It's just kind of that. It's just the way it is.
Yes. Now we are now so familiar. We are so familiar to not to get proper service, not to have people who are corrupted, the government not to care. We have so familiarized ourselves with it that it's becoming a normal thing.
How heartbreaking is that it's become so familiar? It's kind of just like...
Yeah. So I kind of want to, sometimes we want to remind, when I see something that people are not doing, becoming familiarized, I say, no. I want to be that constant reminder. We have not dealt with this. This is still there. We need to remember it. We need to deal with this. Not push it aside. Not to deal with it like, oh, that's how it is. That's how it is. You know how it is.
No, we want to do things differently. We want to improve.
Yes. So that's what I want, to be a constant reminder.
Yes.
What's happening, so you don't forget.
Yeah, it's so important. And do you think there are any misconceptions when it comes to dance and accessibility?
Yes, a lot. Because sometimes even when I tell people, I work with persons with disability, and everybody is like, how? How do they dance? How? How do you work with them? How do you work with people with disabilities? They're very stubborn.
Yeah.
Well, the stubbornness is coming from somewhere. It's not just, didn't just happen. It has to be from, the stubbornness came from somewhere. And we have that kind of avoidance of something that is different. And when you see someone with disability, you're like, how am I going to relate? And because it's not relatable to you, and you can't relate, and you kind of push yourself away. No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's because they don't know.
Yeah.
People don't know. So I don't know how I'm going to react. If I see someone and I said, so what am I? Should I feel sorry? I'm feeling sorry now. Should I empathize?
Yeah.
Or should I help? What is it? And so because of that avoidance, maybe that's the reason why people say persons with disability are difficult.
Yes.
But given a chance, just engage. What can go wrong? It should be the same thing that I will engage with a stranger that I meet. And I say, hey, hello. If they don't respond, I say, okay.
Yeah.
That's not one to respond. Just engagement. So there is misconception.
Yes.
That we deal with it all the time.
Thank you. No, thank you for sharing that, because I think a lack of education is part of it, isn't it? People just don't know, so they avoid it. I spoke to Tracy Radford and Brad English last season on the podcast, and they are part of a campaign called One Conversation, where they believe that it just takes one conversation to change people's minds, and in particular about disability. All it takes is just being brave and having one conversation, and you can both learn so much from each other. It's by avoiding those conversations that we never realize the similarities that we have, and can't connect as humans.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And I love that you're having those conversations, but through dance.
Yes. Yeah.
So important. And thank you for being so honest about your journey as a leader. It sounds like we said, leadership is a big journey. There's many wonderful parts of it that you can tell the pride you have as a leader for your group through the beautiful stories you told, but then also how lonely and isolating it can be as a leader sometimes, that, like you said, you suddenly got this status and you kind of didn't have your own mentors anymore, and lost a lot of your peers through that. So thank you so much for sharing that. I think so many people relate to it. As a leader, what values do you look for in your group members?
Being there and presence. You must be there and you must be present. Because I always tell people, you left your house and you're coming here. Nobody has forced you. So you need to do what has brought you to. You've come. I know everybody has issues, and sometimes you never know when they creep up on you.
Yeah.
You could be happy, and then a thought, something, and then suddenly everything changes. But then I just said, just keep up. Just, this is the reason you are here. If there's a problem, just come up to me and say, you know what? No, I don't feel like I can be able to do this. I'll be like, oh, okay, all right. And time, you need to respect time. You really need to. These are just when I know you said value, but I'm looking at the larger part. But this also actually tells you about a person. For example, you keep time, you respect other people's time. So, and because I was very strict with time with my dancers who have disability, I kind of, in other places that I've gone to teach, I they don't like me because I am like, I'm very strict with time, and I don't understand why you are late. Because my dancer who wear crutches and calipers from a very long time, but we still have them here.
Yeah.
And walks very slowly. She doesn't come late for rehearsal. Yet you can run and you want to come 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late, half an hour late. So I have no, people say I'm very cold. I'm very cold. I'm like, I don't want to know. I'm very cold because of what already I looked. Yes, the quality that they, Pamoja dancers, gave, and respect of time and respect of what they're doing, and then you want to joke about it. Not,
It's a respect for each other as well, isn't it?
Yes. If I was telling you, rehearsals at 10, but not 10 is when I'm starting, not you arriving. So by the time 10, everybody's on the floor and we are ready to go. So, and they knew it. And Betty was quite slow before she got a car. I was so happy when she got her car. But she used to walk very slowly. She was never late. And even if she was, I would be like, why are you late? One time, like I said, we used to work at a gallery. And so, of course, people are walking in and out, looking at the exhibition. And then she walked in, she opened the door of the rehearsal, and she walked in. I was there. I was like, Betty, why are you late? And then people are looking at me like, what is wrong with you? Like, what's really wrong with you?
Yeah.
She has a disability. What are you doing about? And then she told me, oh, but there's traffic. There was a lot of traffic. I said, but even if there was traffic, you should have left earlier. You know how traffic are. You know how traffic is. And I was genuinely upset. And then one of them, but she wasn't. She wasn't upset with me.
No.
She didn't tell me, like, oh, understand my situation. No. She told me the reason why she's late is because there was traffic. That's what's happening.
Nothing to do with anything else.
Which is genuine because we have terrible traffic here. Yeah. Genuine. But then I said, no. They were all looking at me, even the staff. They were like, what is wrong with this man? Yeah. Because I was genuinely upset. I wasn't just like, yeah. So you can imagine now me working with able-bodied dancers and you want to come late. Yeah. Sometimes I don't even tell you anything. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I will tell you, go home, come tomorrow.
Yeah. No, it's respecting each other. It's respecting your time. It's respecting their own time, right? Because it also shows your commitment.
Yeah. And also, I also like passion. I just look at passion. I don't care if you are the best dancer. You can do all these techniques. You can do 50 spins and 50 pirouettes and jump as high, or you're very flexible. That, I don't care. For me, I just look at the passion. What are you
can't doing? Teach passion. You can't teach someone to be passionate.
You can't. We used to have one dancer, he's called Cyril. Cyril had cerebral palsy. And Cyril, because of his the condition of cerebral palsy, you could only move in a certain way. It was the same movement, the same. It never changed. Every time you saw the movement, it was fresh.
Wow.
It was new. It was I used to get goosebumps just looking at Cyril. And then every time I have to remind myself, but he just dances the same way. And another, but it's different because again, this is a different choreography. He will use that. It's the movement is coming from somewhere. Yeah. I'm only seeing him doing this, but him in his head, this now means oppression.
Completely different. Yeah, he's expressing himself completely differently. Yes. Yeah.
This means joy. This means whatever.
Yeah, beautiful.
Same movement. Same. He couldn't move very fast. He couldn't move very. Same.
Yeah. Wow. You really have created such an authentic group of passionate humans, all coming together to dance, and you can tell that there is such a wonderful energy amongst you all, and you've created a really special community. That's what it feels like. What does the word community mean to you, and has your definition of community changed over the years?
With what we have with the dancer is a community. I feel like that is a community. And community for me is not just even that having just a common purpose or common goal. We might have different ideas. We might have, everybody has their own vision of something. But as long as it's this commonness, and also for me, also a community is one that even if I am not, I care. I am concerned. I am aware that I am here, you are there. I might not like you, but I am aware that you are there. For me, that's what I can define as a community.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. And what has the Pamoja dance group community taught you?
Oh.
This might need to be another podcast episode entirely.
Oh my God. Quite a lot. They made me see life in a totally new lens. Totally. Like this. My vision is just not here. It goes and down and up and around. And because sometimes we think like life about life and say, oh, it's so unfair. But then, I don't want to do, whenever I say that, I kind of think about, well, you know what? Someone who think because I do not have running water today, my life is unfair, not to say that to her, that time, that is what is important to her, that to want to
downplay that, no, perspective.
Yes. No. That is, for them, that is the most worst thing that can ever happen to them.
Yeah.
But then also just to look at other people. Okay, that is what it is. So it made me change my mind. I was like, what was I thinking? What I think about life, what I think about me.
Yeah.
There's one of my dancers is called Sylvester. I've mentioned him again. So Sylvester, we got a chance to travel together to Sylvester to do a collaboration with Stop Gap Dance Company in the UK. We're based in Surrey, Farnham.
I'm live in Surrey, yes.
Oh, you do? Oh, I was going to I live in Farnham for 3 months.
Did you? Yes, I know Farnham well. My brother lives there. Amazing. Oh. There we
go. So now Sylvester had gone. If you know the story of Sylvester, oh my God, what he should do a podcast with you.
I would love that.
I'll tell him, and we'll arrange.
Yes, I love it.
Sylvester has gone through life, but he has so much joy. The lady I was telling you that I was really quarreling her for coming late. She's paralyzed waist down. And when you come to rehearsal, she'll be on the floor, but she's the life of the party. She'll be like talking, she's talking, she lives her life.
Yeah.
And like, why are you like this? And I said, if I was you, I would be depressed. I would be so sad. But she's not. And so Sylvester and I, we were with Stop Gap and we were rehearsing. And then Sylvester was talking about his story. and he was saying about how at some point he had no one but himself. And so I was watching him dancing, and I was there, and I said, well, but look at you now. Where are you telling this story at?
Yeah.
I'm not telling this story where you are. You're telling this story miles away. Yeah. You flew there, and now you're working on a performance, and you're going to perform this. I got so emotional that time. I was dancing next, but I was crying. And even the director said, "Are you okay, Joseph?" I said,
I need a moment.
Yes, because it was a position of a change. For me, my emotions were not what he was saying, but that he's a different person now.
Yes.
He's in a different situation. Beautiful. From where he was. He never gave up.
Yes, just kept showing up.
Yes, he moved on.
Amazing.
That's how they change. That's how they...
Yeah, what they've taught you. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Clearly, you all learn from each other, and are learning so much. It's just beautiful. And so we discussed as well that your productions, how inclusive they are, but also they're so poignant with the social issues they cover. And in addition to your amazing productions, the dance group has also created a life-changing outreach program. Please, could you tell us a little bit more about this, and in particular the work you are doing with Kenyan prisons?
How we started, when we used to work at the gallery space, they did an exhibition with some of the Kenyan prisons. They did an exhibition, and it was hanging there. So we had an administrator talk to the one of the prison people that came, and he said, "Can we come and do a workshop there?" And she said, "Yeah, come." And I was like, "Yeah, let's go, let's do this." So I went there, but this one we were taken to a remand prison. It wasn't prison, so it was a remand prison. And here in remand prison, they said you're not yet a prisoner, so you still get to keep the clothes that you're arrested in, or whoever has been brought in. So it's just like normal people. There's no uniform.
Yeah.
And so the first time I went in there, they were showing me around and showing me where we'll be dancing, which was just an outside space with everybody else. If they want to come in, they can come. So as I was walking in, I saw that uncertainty, because it wasn't certain. They were still not serving a sentence. They did not know how the case is going to go. So you can feel, the moment you get in there, you can feel that you feel it. And then I was being shown around, so that everybody was looking at me like, who is this guy being shown around with prison guards and head of prison, and they're just walking around and just being shown around. And then I saw them. I did not want to look, but well, I couldn't avoid it. It's the emptiness that they had. And plus, there's no color. The walls are just like that, bare, no color, concrete. It felt, I was feeling things now. And of course, some people are there not because of, some of them have done something terrible. That's why they're there. So I felt like I can't do this. And so when I left the prison, I told one of my administrators, I said, I don't know how this workshop is going to work, but this feeling I have, I can't have it every time I come, because we were supposed to go there 2 times a week. I said, I don't think I can do this, because I was feeling everything. Even I started having a headache. I was like, I felt like I'm in a small space, just a small space. And yet it's not a small space. So Sylvester, well, again. and
Sorry, person.
and one of our other dancers is called John. So I said, you are the ones who are going to go in there and do it, because I honestly couldn't. I tried. I went there once to show them how it's done. I went to see, and then I went again to do a workshop. I thought maybe because if I dance, I'm going to, this is going to leave me. I'm not going to feel very. But then, and so it's Sylvester and John. They're the ones who were going into the prison, and they were doing workshop. And they'll come to me and they say, "Oh, this is what is happening," and then I will do another workshop with them, and they go. So they're the ones who took it. I overseed it. I did not run that because I couldn't.
No.
My body refused. Yeah, but then we did that for like 3 months. Then they changed the head of the prison. They changed her. And there was a lot of reforms that were happening, so we had to wait and wait. We're still trying to get back up to now. So we haven't been back for some time now.
Yeah, but that's amazing. At least that you were able to get some of the group in there. If before you even got involved, that was the feeling you felt, and there was so tense and so. Almost claustrophobic with the atmosphere that I can only imagine how impactful your dancers were in being able to provide some form of feeling of freedom and a way of expressing themselves in there. Very, very important. So I hope you are able to come back and continue that work.
Yes.
And I can see Pamoja Dance Group going from strength to strength. How do you hope the dance group will continue to develop in the future?
My hope now is to start to do startups. I think there's a need to have as many inclusive dance company as possible. In Kenya, we're like 2. I think we need to have like more than 2. Every town should have one. For example, in Tanzania, a neighboring country, we don't have integrated dance. Why? And here, we are here, and I have so much knowledge to share and to start up and say, okay, this is how it's done. Do it yourself now. That is now what we are thinking. That's our aim now to
beautiful. Yes, that web of connectedness, right? So and I love that. I think that's so incredibly important that you've seen how powerful and how transformative that is, and that you want to share that with others. Just beautiful. Joseph, I am just in awe of you, and my heart is so full from this discussion. I'm so inspired by how you and Pamoja Dance Group are showing up in the world. I would love for other people to be able to follow and support your work. So how can they follow your work, and how can they best support you?
I am not very good at social media. That's where everything is happening now.
Yes, I have my own terrible relationship with social media. Don't you worry.
So we are now on Instagram.
Yes.
And our Instagram is Dance Pamoja, but the dance is spelled with an S. So they can start following up there. We will start posting things. We'll post things on our website. It's www.pamojadance.org.
Amazing. Yes. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I'll make sure I put in the podcast show notes that as well, those handles, so they know how to find you easily and how to remember. Amazing. And is there a way that they can best support you?
By when we post something on YouTube, go on YouTube, check it out.
Yes.
Did I post anything new? I need to. So post, follow us, subscribe to our channel, just watch everything that is there. Yeah.
Yes, no, listeners, please do, because that's how I found you. I found you on YouTube, and I was so unbelievably moved that I wanted to speak to you further. So please do check that out, and we'll put the links in the show notes. And wow, Joseph, you have shared so much wisdom today. But before we finish, is there any lasting words of advice that you would like to leave listeners with?
Don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't. Everything sometimes would pull you from all directions, not even one, but from all directions. And it's not a strange pulling. It's actually a familiar one that will pull you from a very different direction. It's something you know. It's a friend, it's a colleague, it's a feeling that you've been having. But don't stop. Just ignore that and just push on. Because you started. There's a reason why you started. And there's a reason why you're doing it. Whatever it is that you do, whatever it is, just don't stop.
Oh, goodness, I've got goosebumps. Beautiful message, and such an important one. Joseph, thank you so much. Thank you for the heart you have put not only into this conversation, but into everything you do. Thank you to you and Pamoja for creating a safe and inclusive environment for others to express themselves in dance. Thank you for proving that our disadvantages are often our greatest advantages.
Yes.
And thank you for being so vulnerable and willing to delve into such important social topics. I hope that we can all learn from you in that. I'm truly inspired. And thank you, Joseph, for being my kind of person.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.